Hello. I try to have this. There was no pause. Hello, everyone.
You know, I've been doing that too because we were like
millennial pause.
And then so I just start talking as soon as I record, and then I've uploaded so many streams, and it starts mid-word. Hi, everybody, and we're here. It's like, yeah, the pause is a good thing then.
The pause is a great thing, and I guess that makes us a millennial.
Stop harassing us, millennials.
God, we haven't had it hard enough.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Anyway, Shakers.
Okay. Shakers. Glad you asked because I didn't see it. I didn't see the movie. Didn't watch it.
I did watch it. Which version did you?
I watched the only one. I don't watch things in black and white.
This is Nosferatu. What's that?
I don't watch anything in black and white. Mm-hmm. That's a rule I have, or subtitled. So this one walked a fine line, but I watched the new one because there was color in it.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
The one I watched had no sound. Like
okay,
it was
that's
just,
yeah. Well, mine was on mute.
Oh, so purposely no sound.
Right.
Okay.
I like to make my own story. Anyway, Shakers. Hello, everyone. Welcome. We took a week off last week. We had guest hosts fill in for us.
Yeah.
But we are
Thank
back.
You to them.
The reaction has been good for them, but they don't really align with my views, but that's fine. Good for them.
Diversity.
Diversity is key. And you look at our podcasts and you think diverse. And
exactly.
That's what we're all about here. Thank you. Okay, well, today we watched the 2024 remake of Nosferatu. You saw this in theaters? When did you watch this?
I did. I saw this Christmas. It was Christmas break. Mm-hmm. And they did a special presentation at my favorite theater, the New Beverly Theater, where it's like, hey, we're gonna play it on a dingy ass 35 millimeter print all week.
Oh,
come any day between Christmas and New Year's, and we're gonna be playing it. So I saw it that way. It's rare. I go to that theater for old movies all the time, but then I was like, never seen a new movie there, so that'd be kind of cool. So I did that.
Did you watch Nora again in there? They were
that was
it.
Playing this last week, but I didn't have time.
That's fair.
I wanted to, but yeah, I didn't have time.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Well, I just watched it on Peacock, so we had different experiences. You watched it on actual film. I watched it streaming on Peacock. Now, I have the commercials on Peacock. I don't pay for the full one because I can't afford this. It's too much. Mm-hmm. They do a thing which I actually don't truly mind of, 2 minutes of commercials up front and then they play the whole movie without commercials.
Okay.
I can do that.
That's not bad. Yeah, if it was getting interrupted,
I think
couldn't stand that.
HBO is starting to do that, or maybe it's Paramount. One of them is like, oh yeah, we're gonna interrupt the movie. It's like, well, no, then I'm not gonna watch. I'll unsubscribe. But if you want to give me 2 minutes, 3 minutes of commercials ahead of time, all right, you got me. Fine.
Yeah.
It's like a trailer. They have it in the movie theaters, whatever.
Sure.
So that's what I did. But the only problem was I kept going from like, okay, I'm going to watch on my laptop. Oh, I stopped for a second. Now I'm like out and about, but like I'm sitting at a practice forever. It's quiet. I was watching my phone. I got to watch 3 more minutes of commercials. Fuck. Okay, fine. Like that was annoying, but it's fine. Yeah. But how was it on film, Rocco? What was your experience?
Well, this is what's going to make my review of this difficult. I had such a good time at this presentation because, again, they get off on showing film there. Oh, we got a all new print of this, but it makes it look kind of old school, whatever. And they even masked the screen perfectly to the weird aspect ratio of the movie. So it was no fucking around. It was like not even widescreen, just big. They made it loud as fuck. They kind of decorated the theater. They had like cutouts of Nosferatu like in the stairway, and they were even pointing out like, oh, what's that in the projection booth, and like where the projector comes from behind it. There's Nosferatu.
Oh my god!
I mean, it was just fun. And then it was the holiday season, so they had holiday fucking candy going on. So it's like, oh, you want a Junior Mints? No, they're crushed peppermint Junior Mints.
Ooh.
Oh, you want it was so fun, and that's. I'm saying this up front because that may have bled into my. I was having trouble being critical. I'm like, did I love this or hate it? And I'm like, well, I had such a good time at this thing. I don't know how that affected my, so I'm
viewing.
exposing my bias up front.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm curious, that's fair.
Yeah.
I will not have that bias because I didn't have, I just watched it. And I watched commercials ahead of it. So that wasn't very much fun.
Yeah.
But watched it nonetheless. So let's get into it. Now, have you seen the original Nosferatu? I have not.
No, I never did. I don't know anything about it.
No, me neither. I honestly thought Nosferatu was this Dracula, which I guess is based off of Dracula. But like, is Nosferatu Dracula? Is he Dracula? Or is he Nosferatu? I don't fucking know. I have no idea.
I thought that was just like the term for that
beast.
type of vampire. Yeah. That's what I thought.
Let me ask you a question, because you watched it in the theaters.
Yeah.
Could you understand what the fuck he was saying? Nosferatu?
Yeah. It was fucking booming in that theater. It was sign your name to the line at the bottom or whatever he was saying.
Yeah.
And it was punching through pretty clear. Every now and then, no, I mean there were times I didn't, but
because I'm watching, I have my AirPods in, noise cancellation going.
Yeah.
Should be fine to hear this shit. I was like, what the fuck is this guy saying? I turned the subtitles. I'm like, I don't know what you're saying. I really, like, he had the deep voice and then the accent and then after everything because he was struggling to breathe or something. I was like, I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're saying.
yeah.
So whenever he showed up, I'm like, subtitles back on. And I turned them off once he left.
No, I don't remember struggling with that.
Okay, fair enough. This is by Robert Eggers, who also did The Witch. Didn't see that.
Witch.
The Lighthouse. I didn't see that.
I did see that.
The Northman. I did see that one. And now this.
My only other thing I'd seen from him was The Lighthouse, and I always felt bad because I remember the year that came out.
Yeah.
Was Game Days, and I think one by one, everyone who went to Game Days, I think it was that last one, 2019. One by one, every person was like, "Oh my God, have you seen The Lighthouse yet? You have to. Oh my God, Rocco, you have to fucking see this." And then I went, and it was like suffering. It wasn't even. It's one of those movies that I thought there was a lot of creative stuff on display. But do you ever just watch something and it's like, it's gonna be 2 hours of this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I recognize the creativity, and if it was like a 20-something minute short, it would have been fucking harrowing. But it was like these two guys are gonna act like this and it's 2 hours. Okay, it was. I know I'm in the minority on that, but I did not want to like sit through that for that long, just personally. So that was my only exposure to him. The Northman was where people I know who felt the same as me. They were like, Northman is a more straightforward thing, and it kind of rips. I was told it was cool. I always wanted to check it out. It looked cool, but I never did.
I saw it. It was not what I anticipated, which isn't bad.
Northman?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I watched it, and I was like, oh, they're doing things I wasn't prepared for in this. So it was more supernatural than I was ready for.
Okay. Interesting.
Not in a bad way, but it was just like, oh, we're like doing magic and shit?
Yeah.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
It's fine. But yeah, I didn't love The Northman, though. I didn't love it. And we'll see what I thought of this one. So I don't know, maybe you feel differently, but I was like, this is a very simple plot.
Yeah.
Yet I'm confused, is how I felt most of this time, where it's like, I don't know why I'm not picking up these things. Like,
Okay.
Like, I didn't get why this girl Ellen. It's the plot says like in the early 1800s, she pled for a supernatural being to ease her loneliness. Her cries awaken a mysterious creature who makes her pledge herself to him eternally. Did we see that?
Opening of the movie, it's like she's calling out, like very, very opening. It's like she's calling out to something answers.
Yeah, but like that's this happening. That's like that's the deed being done.
That's it. It's just like that happened a long time ago, and
because I couldn't tell, like, is this a dream she's having?
Yeah.
Is this Yeah, I was like, oh, that's the whole movie's from this scene. That's it. That's all it takes. That's all it takes for Nosferatu to come out. If you're lonely, is if you just wish
She was so desperately
Lonely.
lonely that she called out, and it was kind of like deal with the devil. You know, it's like I
Yeah.
would do anything, whatever. You know, and she's got dark thoughts. She wants, you know, whatever she's seeking, she got it.
Okay. All right. Well, anyways, she got it. So then later on, she gets married. Cuts to present day, 1938, and
Present day, 2025.
she marries Thomas Hunter, and they live in a town in Germany. And then Thomas has a job from his employer to sell. I can't even.
He's a real estate agent.
Yeah, besides like
basically.
Grunewald Manor to the recluse Count Orlok. Okay, I'm in. Right now, I'm in. This is fine. And then he basically, he doesn't. You can tell like he has a rich friend who has seemingly everything. He owns like the ports and all the ships that come in. That's his. And he's fucking loaded, and he has a wife and 2 kids. And then his friend is this guy Thomas. And then he's like, I want to be like you. I want to buy a house. I'm married to Ellen now. We just had our honeymoon. Like it's going good.
Yeah.
They keep mentioning like, oh, Ellen was a little fucked up earlier. She had this melancholy. She was like couldn't sleep. She was kind of aloof, messed up, whatever.
Yeah.
But now she found you, and it's all better. You saved her.
Yeah.
And then, so he's like, okay, I'm gonna go off to sell this fucking house to Count Orlok, and then I will make enough money with the commission from that to buy you a house. We'll live happily ever, whatever. She's begging him, don't go. Please don't go. I have a bad feeling about this. Don't go.
Yeah.
But the whole time she's talking to Nosferatu, right? Like in her dreams, or he's talking to her, or
Yeah.
okay, whatever. So he's talking to her, and then
She's I think there is yeah, I mean there like I don't know if she's warning him not to go, but like she's had these visions for a long time, and and I don't know if she's aware that this is part of what's going to happen with Count, or like like that's
Well, he this dude Thomas makes the journey to Transylvania, and then which is funny, Transylvania is such a like the name of it now is like a joke. Where it's like Transylvania, like, ooh, but like I guess that's where it has to be. It wasn't always that way.
Yeah, where else is it going to be?
Right? You can't say it was in like Poland. It's Transylvania. He is surrounded by he finds like this village outside of the castle where Count Orlok lives, and they're all fucking spooked. Obviously, they are not into this. They have a sacrifice of like a young woman, on a horse.
Yeah.
They're like clearly going through it and struggling with this fucking count there being there. But I think what a lot of it is I don't understand is there's a lot of implied history. Like this town is freaking out, but my question is like, so did he just wake up and now this is like a new problem they're having, or has he always been at this castle and these people have always dealt with this problem?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought he had come to claim the castle. Like I thought that was what was going on here.
So he took over that castle.
That's what I thought.
But it wasn't always his.
You're secure lucrative deals. Crumbling castle. Yeah. That he wanted to. He kind of moved in there, is what I thought.
Oh,
that's what I thought.
Okay. Because I was like, why? Just move. Why you? Don't be at this little shitty village.
Yeah.
Like, get the fuck out of here. This guy's crazy. Don't sacrifice this naked girl. Just go get out of here. Okay. So, anyways, they all say like, do not go to that castle. Like, you don't want to go there. And he's like, well, no, I have to go there. And so they steal his horse, so we can't go there. But he just walks, and he gets there at night because he's been walking so long to get to the castle.
Yeah.
And then he has his encounter with Nosferatu.
Well, I was going to say, so, oh, by the way, Nosferatu, the term, it's Romanian.
Okay.
For like the cursed one, the insufferable one.
Oh.
So it's just like, imagine a movie about a scary guy in the movies called Boogeyman.
Okay, so
You know
you're
what I
telling
mean?
me
It's
that
like that
his
kind of
name
term.
is not Nosferatu.
No.
It is Count Orlok.
It's Count Orlok, but
Got
he is
it.
Nosferatu.
He is
the
a
insufferable
Nosferatu.
one.
Okay, okay.
It's a term like boogeyman, like monster, like
Okay.
whatever. That's
Gotcha.
what he is.
Sure. Okay.
But I want to call out though that there's some great shots in this movie. There's some cinematography that is really neat, and I think the peak of it in this movie is when he is, trying to travel up there to the estate to see Orlok, and then he is met with that wagon to take him up.
Yeah.
That visual where it's just the blackness of everything looked really cool.
I do think that they did a really good job with making things as black as possible.
Yeah.
They definitely played with using black and white. Like a lot of times I'm like, is it filmed in black and white or is just the contrast so far down that like, which is this?
But that was really cool. The wagon coming to get him was damn, they're cooking on this one.
Yeah, for sure. And even like when he was in there with the fire, like when he first sees Count Orlok, I was like, oh fuck. It reminded me actually, because spoilers for Severance. If you don't want a spoiler for the lightest episode of Severance, which is episode 9 of season 2, I'm gonna wave my hands when it's safe. Okay. But when he opens the door and you see Miss Cobell, and it's just that huge fire behind her, like the most intimidating. I had the very same vibe from that. Okay.
I think I know what's going to happen in there, too.
In that room?
I have a theory.
Well, 1 second.
I think I'm right.
Mute again. I'll wave again. What's your theory?
Well, that room had 2 chairs.
Yeah.
So I think the whole wrapper of this next episode, see if I'm wrong about the finale, is I think it's Innie and Outie Mark are going to sit and have a chat.
Oh, you serious?
Just the way that room was staged, doesn't it look like that? Two Matrix ass looking fucking chairs facing each other.
How could they do that? How could they talk to each other?
They're gonna do some shit with his chip where it's gonna be like he's sitting and having a talk.
Holy,
that's what I think.
That would be sick.
It could be him and Cobell.
Yeah, but that would. I think it's gonna be. That'd be super interesting.
I think it's gonna be 2 marks.
Dang.
It's gonna be dual marks.
Dang. Okay.
See if I'm right. It seemed directing wise, I'm like, that's why there's 2 of these big leather chairs because they're gonna sit in each one. Like, do you know? Well,
I got a very Morpheus Neo vibe from that, but okay.
See if I'm right.
All right.
See if I'm right. Speaking of,
now you're good.
I do want to say, Shawn made a reference to the Matrix.
Yes.
Nothing to do with they're not in the Matrix in Severance.
Don't worry.
Do you know today? This is just movie news. Village Roadshow filed for bankruptcy. Village Roadshow, a production company that did all kinds of productions, including The Matrix,
they filed for
including
bankruptcy.
a million huge movies were done by Village Roadshow. And you know why?
Nope.
Money dispute over The Matrix Resurrections.
Are you serious?
They were in some big battle with Warner Brothers that we didn't know about.
Whoa.
That has gone on for the last 4 years.
I feel like anything that's negative in the entertainment world lately has been due to Warner Brothers.
Yeah, and don't forget, this same era cost them Christopher Nolan.
Yep.
Because there was dispute over Tenet.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's just going to Max. Oh, we'll put it out in theaters when theaters are closed. Well, don't do that. Well, whatever. And he left. And I heard recently they drove a truck of money. There's always a rumor they drove a truck of money to his house to do Dark Knight Rises. Yeah. And the rumor was they did it again as a make it right thing. Like, hey, the fee, what you would have gotten for Tenet's back end or whatever, here it is. We'll just give it to you.
Yeah.
And rumor is he was like, thanks. Anyway, I'm back at Universal, but
thank you for the money.
That was the biggest fumble ever. They lost him.
Yeah.
He took Oppenheimer to Universal.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Biggest movie of the year. Best picture. I mean, the list goes on. Fucking idiots. But anyway, Matrix Resurrections, still to this day, I mean, it was like people think it was just a Max movie, or HBO, whatever, because it was in theaters for a minute and it came at a shit time and it was a weird fucking movie. And, so yeah, no one thought that was a success, but we didn't know they were still fighting over this. And yeah, I guarantee it's about that.
Damn.
The streaming thing. Because that was at the time where they were putting theatrical movies at the same time on both.
Well, even this.
That was a shitty time.
I think Nosferatu came out Christmas.
Yeah.
It's not. This has been out on streaming for a while.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I mean, I'm fine with that. But like I do see like, wow, man, like that was kind of a quick turnaround. Like that is like pretty fast.
Yeah.
That new fucking movie you just saw.
Yeah, Mickey 17.
Yeah, Mickey 17.
18 days in theaters.
And it's on streaming.
Yep.
That's wild. I mean, back in the day,
It's about to be.
It was in theaters for 2 months, usually any movie.
At least.
And then you had to wait like a year before the VHS came out.
Yeah.
Like you had to wait so long.
Yeah.
And now it's
I remember
out.
the gap was bridged a lot when I remember keep talking about The Matrix.
Yeah.
The Matrix Reloaded came out and it was like, dude, it's going to be out on home video by like October.
Oh, because they wanted to have it out before
the new movie
yeah,
in November.
Remember that.
Because the third one came out. No, 2 Matrix movies in 1 year. And as always, that's too much. But I mean, it was fun for me as someone who's enjoying it, but
Yeah.
it's for the public, it's a lot. But anyway, yeah, they wanted it out. So that came out in May 15th, I think, 2003. It came out, the Reloaded came out, and then October. So that was, 5 months. And that was like, whoa, they rushed that out, you know, before you could watch it at home.
And now
it's like, wait a couple weeks. And they wonder, and it's like, well, aren't people being conditioned to just, just wait?
Yes.
You know,
I'm one of those people.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because this movie, I was like, oh, I see that. And then it's like, oh, I'll wait.
Yeah.
The second I hear that, I'm like, oh, from that on the thing I already own, yeah, I'll wait. It's fine.
But I will say personally, I think my belief on the theater, we're getting into a deeper conversation here, but theatrical versus home experience, I really do base that. I mean, some people, it's just like, yo, I rarely have time to go to the theater.
And that's
that.
that's me. I
I
don't
get
have
that.
time.
I get it. But for me, it's purely movie to movie. This, I looked at it and was like, that'd be fun to see at that theater on film.
Yeah.
At home, I didn't care. I really was like, you know, so that's why I went.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole reason I went. It seemed like it would be fun in a theater. You know, then there's other, you know, Anora I wanted to see in a theater, but it never made it to the top of my list because I like that director,
Right.
but it never made it to the top of my list, and I ended up watching it at home.
Right.
It was, you know, it's kind of a. I felt like I wasn't going to miss anything if I didn't see that in the theater.
Yeah.
Whereas that's kind of the only reason I saw it.
Sure.
So to me, it goes from movie to movie, and what's my priority? And again, Anora, I was so excited to see, but it wasn't high up on the priority list. It's like, if I'm running out of time, just watch it at home.
Yeah.
So, you know, but yeah, if you're conditioning everyone to just wait a couple weeks, then yeah. Oh, it didn't do that great in theaters. You don't say.
Yeah. No shit. Well, anyways, back to this movie.
Oh yeah.
Back to this movie.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, there's maybe I'm gonna breeze through this and maybe you'll be upset it's too fast. But I don't know. Like he goes to the house, Orlok's creepy. He accidentally cuts himself. Orlok kind of gets like really creepy. And then
I did like their conversation though, like by the fire when he's like trying to get him to sign the paper. You know, I don't remember exactly word for word, but I was cracking up. The theater had some laughs during that part. It was just like, "Come closer so I can see the paper" or whatever. It was just like, "No, don't do that." You know, it was like stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like, "Oh, you smell good." Oh, okay, thanks. All right, you know, whatever he said, I don't remember, but
yeah, I couldn't understand him. I mean, I
Okay.
could some of it I could, but
Yeah.
for the most part, I'm like, I don't know what you're saying. Whenever he had a monologue as Count Orlok, I was like, oh, I'm fucked. So then, what happens? Oh, so then Thomas has to stay in the castle. He insists. I insist he stay at the castle. Then he's like realizes he's locked in. He escapes and is gonna go find Count Orlok and kill him. He realizes this is a fucked up situation. You're something that's unholy, and I'm gonna kill you. He finds his coffin, opens it up with a pickaxe ready to go and get him. And
you don't see at some point in this movie, I remember you saw his dong.
This is it.
You did see it in there?
He stands up.
Okay.
Fucker sleeps naked, bro.
Nice.
Yeah, if you're gonna sleep and you're in a coffin, better ass be naked.
Yep.
So he was naked. And yeah, you saw his fucking pecker and everything. It was cool.
I remember that there was a big deal about the prosthetic that he used a prosthetic for the scene, and then he gave it to Nick, whatever his name is. Is it not? Maybe it's not Nick. I don't know. The guy who played Thomas, the guy who played the main guy. That actor, Peter Skarsgård or whatever his name.
Yeah,
is it Peter? Bill Skarsgård, who played Count Orlok, gave that as a gift to him. Like, here, I saved this for you.
That's so fucking
weird.
weird.
So there's pictures of him backstage with a prosthetic, like a whole prosthetic, like lower half of a man. Like, thanks. That was funny.
Oh, we gave those. Remember when we did that? Well, we didn't give those out, but
yeah.
That was awesome.
Fatal Farm
did that.
At Game Days when they did their...
They gave us the penises.
They had exploded dicks from their RoboCop parody.
And they framed those so nice.
Yeah.
They spent money on that.
They really did.
That was really nice of them.
That's still one of the wildest things ever is how much effort and work they put into their panel at our event.
That was so sweet.
I was like, you guys make nationwide,
that
globally
was incredibly nice.
And you put all this money into this? And they're like, we don't have to ask anything. I was like, okay, wow.
Yeah. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Okay,
anyway.
So anyways, you see his decayed wiener, and now he starts
dickhead.
He starts pursuing Thomas, and then Thomas escapes him and his wolves by falling into the river beneath the castle, and then he gets found by some nuns, right? And then they bring him back to health. And then they explained that Orlok was a student of I don't fucking know the word, whatever. Scoliosis. And he became a vampire after making a pact with a demon. And then now, while this is happening, Orlok sets sail for the town where Ellen lives, where he's bought that house.
Which, by the way, so Orlok starts making the trip overseas to get into to get to that town, and it's so funny because I'm watching this in the theater, and it's like like you see the dudes like taking him over on the ship with the coffin, like you won't believe what we got in here, and I'm thinking, I'm like, this is so out of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure because Dio, who is like the villain of that show, you keep thinking he's dead. And then there's like an episode where it's like, hey, they found this thing and they're bringing it in a boat over to where we live. Okay, what is it? And you see a coffin that says Dio, and it's like, oh fuck. And I'm like, damn, this is like the same thing. And then I'm like, oh,
yeah, I don't think.
No, well, I knew. It's like, okay, it could be based on this, you know?
Yeah.
But then I'm like, oh, but then there was a fucking movie, The Voyage of the Demeter or whatever, about they bring Dracula, essentially, in a coffin overseas. I'm like, this is all the same fucking myth, dude.
It's all the same.
It's all, but anyway, so I thought that was kind of funny. So, spoiler for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Now, I will say that, so he gets on this boat, and the boat is infested with plague-carrying rats. I think those are little pets. Kills the whole crew. And then when that boat hits land, those rats just scurry and go everywhere.
Yeah. So it's fucking plague time.
And now it's time for the fucking plague. Now, in the meantime, while he was gone, Thomas is gone, Ellen's fucked up. She's staying at their friend's house, the rich husband and wife and the two girls. And she is losing her shit. Yeah. It is some Exorcist level shit of dreams and like body contortions and convulsing, drooling.
Which, by the way, we should talk about that. Something that I kept hearing from people.
Yeah.
I kept getting a lot of people going like, haha, did your theater crack up at that? Crack up at what? Like she's doing all that fucking convulsing? Like that was funny. Our theater didn't laugh at that. I didn't. It was a lot of theater. A lot of people were talking about how like that was so over the top that people were laughing.
Oh,
I didn't feel that. I don't know. I didn't feel that way.
There was a couple moments where I thought this looks stupid. Like I wasn't laughing.
Yeah,
I was just like, this is too much. Like it was just like, I don't know. It just
I thought she did a great job. I didn't think that
she
at
did
all.
fine. She did fine, but there was a couple times like when it was like, I don't know. She's walking around going like this, and then she goes crazy, like and it's like, okay, like I don't know. It was kind of lame to me.
I liked it.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. That's fair. Anyway.
I just know there were people saying our whole theater was dying at that, and I'm like, I was in a sold out theater and
Yeah, we weren't
just watching it.
I wasn't laughing, but I also wasn't impressed.
Sure.
Okay, so anyways, now we finally find Willem Dafoe. And Willem Dafoe is being called in to treat Ellen because she's so fucked up, and he's kind of like a laughed off professor who was, figuring out like, I guess like religious shit. I'm not sure.
He had all kinds of things like that and got kind of laughed at for it. Like he was really, occult kind of shit. And then, and so then they're like, well, we got someone maybe actually possessed here. You want to get on that? It's like, wait, really?
Ew, what?
I'll do my best.
What?
I'm somewhat of an exorcist myself.
So then,
some people got that.
Willem Dafoe is going around. He finds the boss of the guy who sent Thomas. He's all fucked up. Like he's like clearly like, oh, he was like a little assistant to Count Orlok.
Yes,
and it was all a trick.
Okay, can I'm gonna dive in on this part because this actually was the part I died laughing at.
Yeah,
I laughed so hard, and the whole theater did crack up.
Okay, because of you or because they just were?
They were like, "This guy's like so crazy."
This guy's laughing.
It got in a packed audience. This got a huge laugh.
Yeah,
is they go check on that guy who is supposedly assistant to Orlok.
Yeah,
and they check up on him, and he's caught like a pigeon in his cell. And then it's like, oh, okay. And they play like, oh, he's gonna bite it. No, he's not. And then and then and bites the head off a pigeon, which I thought they actually played just right. It didn't look grisly enough that it was, oh fuck. It was like just fake enough that it was like, we know what you're doing. We know what you're doing. He bites the head off a pigeon in plain view of the camera. They're all watching him, and the dude goes, "Good God, man, why would you do that?" or whatever the line is. Why would you do that?
Why would you do that?
I think he goes, "Why would you do that, good man?" Died laughing at that. I was laughing at that for like 20. I don't know why you couldn't have timed that better. It broke the audience. We really not a lot of big reaction, and that it broke the tension.
That's so funny.
Why would you do that?
Why would you do that?
Why would you do that, good man?
So now England, or wherever they are, Germany, this town is pretty fucked. Everyone is on the streets dying of the plague. Those rats are everywhere.
Yeah.
Now they got fucking Count Orlok making a house somewhere.
Yeah.
And this guy is running amok. He escaped his prison. He bites the guy the guard's like throat and kills him.
Gives him a little nibble.
Yeah. And so it's a pretty fucked situation. Now Nosferatu comes and says, I'm going to give you Ellen. Ellen, I'm giving you 3 nights to come to me and give yourself to me like you said you would.
Yeah.
And the first night I'm going to kill more people, the second night closest to love, and the third night I'm killing your husband, and then you are mine. Mm-hmm. And so she keeps trying to push this shit off and whatever, doesn't work. Now the second night they're at first off the rich couple sends Ellen and Thomas away, even though they're both clearly fucked up. They are not in good shape, but like, hey, we got our own problems here. Like, we got to go.
Yeah.
Then the mom wakes up to the daughter screaming, and you see Count Orlok killing the 2 little girls and throwing their bodies aside. Fuck that. Fuck that whole thing. If I was not watching this from Movie Club, I would have turned it off and never gone back at that moment. I was like, fuck you. This movie's not that good, and I don't want to see that. Goodbye. I was like not into that at all. At all. And I don't want to sound like, I know Jeff Ramsey was that way. Like, I don't want to see little kids get hurt. I don't want to.
Sure.
I've seen shit. I can watch a movie. I can distinguish the difference. This, for some reason, was like, fuck off. You're trying to upset me. You did it. Good job. Go away. I did not. Oh.
I don't know why it had no effect on me.
Well, because you don't have daughters.
But I don't. But I would if a kid is killed in a movie, I'm still gonna be affected by it.
Sure.
But I think to me this whole movie was so kind of like heightened. You know what I? Do you know what I mean? This whole movie was so kind of over the top and like theatrical.
Mm-hmm.
So I just kind of thought that was part of it. You know what I mean? Like it didn't. If it had been like, let's say we're watching Catch Me If You Can, and then he killed a child in it, I would have been like, oh. But it was so. Everything was so kind of ridiculous. I kind of accepted a level of ridiculous through the whole movie.
Yeah.
That it was crazy, but I didn't.
And that's, I think, my biggest problem with it. It was that, like, okay, so there's a moment where the dad is sitting there with the two girls, like, cuddle up with them. And that's how I sit with my girls sometimes. Okay, I'm not saying I'm that guy, whatever. But they just kill the girls that you've seen the whole movie and just discard them like they're nothing. And it's like, make this either an impactful scene or don't. But, like, or don't have the scene. Like, I don't know.
I would say, though, that is kind of a thing throughout this movie.
Yeah.
Is women are really kind of just treated like
nothing,
accessories to the men. Oh, is he able to have children still? Oh, what about? Oh, yeah. Well, I got to make sure. Like it's kind of just make sure she can still have children. Make sure. That's everyone in the movie is kind of just make sure our children-bearing vessels are still able to do their thing. And I got that vibe through the whole movie that it was kind of like. Nothing's given more respect than that, kind of.
So then Nosferatu kills the wife. I didn't care about that at that point. But then, like, it's the next day. The little coffins are being sent off. Again, I'm like, fuck this movie. Then the dad's very upset. He goes back later after everyone leaves and then finds his wife's coffin, opens it up, and then has sex with her dead body. Or something, I think. I'm pretty sure he did. Then Willem Dafoe and them find him there, realize that he's overcome with grief, or I don't know. Then they light the whole thing on fire because of the plague.
Yeah.
Then Willem Dafoe basically realizes and tells Ellen, like, hey, you're going to have to sacrifice yourself. Like, it's up to you. You have to lure him with your body, essentially, until the cock crows. And the dawn has risen. And so she knows that is the case. And
again, it's on the woman to do all this.
Yeah.
It's just that it's like, damn, it always is. Okay, well,
then Thomas, is going on this hunt trying to find him. But the whole time, like, oh, this is just trying to distract Thomas because she knows I'm about to die and sacrifice myself here.
Yeah.
And you don't know that, but you wouldn't let me do it. So I'm going to go whatever.
Yeah.
Then Nosferatu, she accepts him. He comes to her. They have maybe the hottest sex scene ever recorded.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking monster versus girl, sucking on her chest until he can bleed no more. I don't know.
Sucking on her titties till she's dying and sacrificing herself for the town.
Pretty good.
Real quick, pause for a second. Were you down with or like cool or just don't care either way about Orlok's design?
I did not like it. I didn't. The mustache was weird.
Yeah.
Weird choice.
Yeah.
So I know it doesn't matter, but he's got the mustache to me was like you. So you shave that every morning or what? What are you doing?
Well, I will say in a lot of vampiric lore.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to call him out. Garrett's just off camera, and I think he probably remembers. But like in True Blood, when someone got turned into a vampire, they kind of stayed that way.
Oh.
They would always, it's like the way you were, you're kind of stuck with that. He could shave it off, and the next day it would grow back to that, kind of thing. But it wouldn't grow further. That's how, in a lot of vampiric lore, it's kind of like you're that.
Okay.
So he may have
had a mustache.
He may have had that, and yeah, you're just seeing the crustiest man with that same mustache. I was gonna say I heard a lot of back and forth. I think the original Nosferatu design is one of the most iconic in history.
Yeah.
I'm actually glad they didn't just try to do that again.
Sure.
I'm actually gonna stick up for the way he looks. I liked that they went so hard European, like spooky European entity guy. Mm-hmm. He was so European, and that the whole movie was. And I actually really liked the way they went with it. And some women, they're looking for something to be seduced by some kind of dark-sided kind of thing. maybe they're into the mustache. A lot of ladies like that, And so the fact that he's got that, and it's kind of like the most heightened version of this sinister desire. I like that the mustache was there. I'm in support of this.
Okay.
But I also get it because the original design is so iconic. What are they doing here? I get that. But I'll say on my end, I liked it.
Okay.
That's just my opinion.
Well, he ends up sucking her boobs for so long.
Yeah.
That
Sorry.
he
I meant to
loses
say,
track
yeah,
of time.
Yeah.
He's just sucking them so long.
Been there at the theater when it was at. Nah, suck a titty on that.
All
long time.
And I'm saying you can't stop yourself until what? The sun came up. And she's like, "Hey, the sun's up, but keep sucking." He's like, "All right, I'll keep sucking if you want me to."
Been there, except didn't lose my life. Just lost my job at Blockbuster.
So he sucks and sucks until that cock does crow.
Yeah, it did.
And he is like, "Oh no, I'm gonna throw up blood because the sun got me." But man, I was sucking them titties, is what he says.
Yeah, that's the last line.
That's the line. And then they all come in. Willem Dafoe sees her naked there and realize they had a fucked up night.
Yeah.
She's dead. He's dead. Plague's gone. Case closed for Willem Dafoe, really.
Yeah.
So, and that's Nosferatu.
Yeah.
Nosferatu. Now, if you couldn't tell by my tone throughout this thing, I did not like this movie. I did not enjoy this movie. I do agree that it was shot. There's some cool shots. It looked cool.
Yeah.
It looked cool. But as a whole, I was either bored or I was mad about the fucking kid part. Sure. Take that out of it. I was like pretty bored with it, honestly. I was like, oh no.
Well, it sounds like you didn't get it.
I probably.
I'm just kidding. I'm joking. I try to think of the last thing you want to hear in any movie review.
I mean, I've heard that before.
No, you see, you hear it in your own head. I would never say that.
Oh, sure.
But I would think it. No.
Okay.
No, this is where this is where my struggle is.
Yeah.
I had such a fucking great time when I saw this movie.
Yeah.
I think, and I'm going to say this as a compliment, it's a very old-timey, exaggerated, melodramatic. Again, were her reactions over the top or whatever? I felt like the whole movie was over the top.
Yeah.
I felt like the whole movie was this cranked up. It's really a melodramatic, old-timey kind of movie.
Mm-hmm.
I dug that. I dug that vibe. But again, I saw this in such a fun presentation too that I think it just added to it.
Yeah.
Where it was like old-timey, weird, melodramatic movie, but also presented in a way that it's on film and it's all, they made it such a fun experience. It's hard for me to separate that.
I get that.
But so I left it going, I had a great time. It wasn't like, didn't change my life, but I left it like, I had a great time. Mm-hmm. And then I'm driving home more and I'm thinking too, like, but if I put that on, if that was on streaming and I put that on, would I have given a shit? Maybe not. So that's basically my review. There's not a lot here. There's not much here. I thought it was fun to go see in a theater with a bunch of people who wanted to be scared. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And it was cold out.
Came out on Christmas Day.
Yeah, it was so fun. In that context, I'm going to recommend it. Out of that context, I don't know. I feel like watching this at home, I would have probably turned it off.
I'm telling you, I would have turned it off had it not been. This felt like homework to me.
Yeah, I'm not going to go there. I think there's a if you want, I don't want to say a fun movie, but I think if you're into this kind of stuff, it's a fun thing to put on. And then
it was just a lot of Willem Dafoe explaining shit.
Yeah, I enjoyed that though.
Yeah. I felt like he was learning as we were learning. He was like figuring this out.
Yeah.
I would rather, he was introduced so far into the movie. I wish he would have already known. I don't need to see you figure this shit out. Like, you just tell me what's up.
Yeah, I dug that. I had a good time. But again, would I have cared at home? I don't know.
Yeah.
But watching that with a bunch of people, it was such a blast.
Well,
just again, it was so over the top and kind of stupid that it was fun in that presentation. So
Well,
that, that's my review.
What are you gonna give it for Shakers though?
I think I have to put it square in the middle. Had a great time, but in a certain way. I don't know what I really would have cared about if I hadn't seen it that way. But it's like are you rating every commercial you see on TV? No, but when it's on during the Super Bowl, then you got a review of it.
Sure.
It's like the context is everything. That was probably a terrible example, but so I'm gonna give it 2.5.
Okay.
I had so much fun in that way. I just don't think I'll ever watch this again. I have to put it square in the middle for that reason. I didn't hate it, but in another life, maybe I did.
Yeah. Well, I did hate it. I didn't like it at all. Yeah, I was ready to like it. I was kind of excited to watch this movie.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It just did not do anything for me. But again, cool shots, cool sets. The style overall was very interesting.
So if you like Nosferatu, congratulations.
Congratulations.
For him, it's not a good nightmare, just a really weird
one. I'm gonna give it a 1. I'm gonna give it a 1 shaker for me. Garrett, you're off camera. How many shakers would you give this movie? 3.5. 3.5 from Garrett. All right. Okay, well, that is Nosferatu. We did not. What movie are we going to watch next? I really don't know what to even.
We were talking about. I don't know if I'm going to say this, and then it's like, then we have to do this. But we were talking about maybe sitting through. It looks like a huge piece of shit.
Oh no! Yeah, we did talk about that.
Talking about that. Should we do that?
I guess. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
What do you think?
What? Okay. Do you want to put it up to them?
Yes.
Let's give a classic movie that we haven't seen, or this movie, and we'll put a poll up, or maybe it's in the comments. And we'll count the comments, and you tell us what's that movie called?
Electric State.
Electric State.
It just came out on Netflix. It's about 60s animatronics, like on a trajectory, a world where the trajectory of their development never stopped, and the world is full of like sentient animatronics. Yeah. Like a giant robot Mr. Peanut is walking around.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
Conceptually, man, that should be an awesome movie, but it looks like a huge turd.
Huge
and I've heard it
shit.
is.
Yeah.
So I just thought it'd be funny to talk about.
So maybe that'd be fun. So we could do that if you want. Or what's like a class? Have you ever seen Big Trouble in Little China? You ever seen that? I've never seen that.
I did once years ago, but I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
I have loved every John Carpenter movie I've ever seen. And that one I was like, fuck this.
Oh, really?
But it was a long time ago. I wasn't Carpenter pilled like I am now. And I felt like there was like shit going on.
Okay.
And I always felt like, man, I got to give it another chance. I've loved all his movies. And people love this one. What's my problem?
Yeah.
Like I said, I feel like I was like heavily distracted.
Okay.
Because I just saw it at home. And I just remember being bummed out. So I would be down with another viewing of that.
Okay.
But
well, let's if that's cool with you.
Yeah.
So we'll either do, what was that movie called again?
Electric State.
Electric State, or
I think that's what it's called.
Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah.
Put that in the comments. We will do that next time. It's up to you. It is your decision.
Yes.
And thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing to Patreon. And we never do this, but shouts out Tina for being our top sub tier, whatever we call it, tier 5 sub. Tina, thank you so much. If you want a personal shout out from us and you want to cough it up, I'll do it. Anyways, love you all. Thank you so much for subscribing, and we'll see you next time. Let us know what to watch. Okay, goodbye. Love you. Stop recording. Stop.